Hello, folks. Today in class, or Tuesday in class, first thing we would have done is practice with cost classifications, and we would have used exercise 2-2 to do that, which is showing on your screen. The first thing I want to talk about is just the classifications we've learned so far. First of all, remember that you can classify a cost as fixed, variable, or mixed. And we'll get some practice with that in this problem. Also, costs were classified as product or period. So product costs we further broke down into direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Remember that manufacturing overhead were all those costs related to manufacturing that weren't direct materials or direct labor, so they're everything else related to manufacturing. Examples included factory rent, security, utilities, etc. And then we had the other classification that was easily confused with manufacturing overhead, and that's the period costs. Period costs are all the non-manufacturing costs, and examples of those could include accounting, sales, sales salaries, sales travel, corporate executive salaries, etc. So for this exercise, we want to classify each expense first as fixed, variable, or mixed, and then further classify each as product or period. If an item is a product cost, also classify it as direct materials, direct labor, or manufacturing overhead. Also want you to watch for sunk costs, those costs that have already been incurred in the past or that we can't change. The next page of this document that you'll have access to includes the solutions, but let's go through this together. I'll give you some time to think about each one as we address it. So number one, the cost of memory chips used in a radar set. So it is a variable cost because it depends on how many radar sets we manufacture, and because it is related to manufacturing, it is a product cost, and it would be direct materials because it's the materials directly going into the product. Okay, number two, factory heating costs. Again, would be considered, let me give you a second here. Would be considered variable, and that is a product cost also, but that would go into the manufacturing overhead category. Okay, number three, factory equipment maintenance costs. Same as number two, it's variable, and it's a product cost, and it's a manufacturing overhead cost. Number four, we always have a little bit of a disagreement about, so I'll give you my opinion on it. It's variable, and I would consider it kind of supplies for manufacturing, so I wouldn't put it into, I would say it's a product cost, but I wouldn't put it into direct materials, and I would say it was manufacturing overhead. Other people might disagree with me on that. So some of these aren't really clearly defined. All right, I'm just going to do one more here. The travel costs of the company's salespersons. Think about this one. It is variable because it depends on how much travel is done, and it doesn't relate to manufacturing. So this is one of those non-manufacturing costs that goes into period costs, and a subcategory of that would be sales costs under period. All right, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and finish this on your own, and you'll be able to see the solutions down below.